So you just open the mail and there it is. That denial letter from the Social Security Administration. I know, it's a total gut punch, and it's okay to feel completely knocked down by it. But before you do anything else, just take a deep breath. We're going to walk through what this letter really means and, more importantly, what you can do about it. First things first, let's get some perspective here, because you are not alone in this. Not even close. The reality is about 2/3 of all initial disability claims get denied. That's right, it's actually the most common outcome. So this isn't some final judgment on you or your condition, it's just the starting line for the next part of the process. And that, of course, brings us to the big question. Okay, so what now? It feels confusing, maybe a little hopeless, but I promise you there is a very clear path forward. You've got options, and this whole explainer is designed to be your roadmap. If you only remember one thing today, let it be this. That denial letter is not the end of the road. It's just a sign telling you it's time to enter the next phase, the appeals process. It's your chance to build an even stronger case and get a fresh set of eyes on your claim. All right, so here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about why that denial isn't the final word. Then we'll dig into the most likely reasons why your claim was denied. From there, we'll walk through the 4 steps of an appeal, cover some real strategies for winning, and wrap it all up with a simple action plan for you to follow. So that letter you're holding, think of it as a preliminary decision. It's based only on the first round of paperwork you sent in. It's basically the SSA saying, based only on what we see right here, the answer is no for now. Our job is to give them more to look at. Okay, to build a winning appeal, you have to become a little bit of a detective. You've got to figure out exactly why they said no in the first place. Your denial letter is your first big clue, and it's going to point you in one of 2 main directions. So every denial falls into one of 2 buckets. It's either a medical denial or a technical denial. A medical denial means they looked at your health condition and decided it wasn't severe enough. A technical denial has nothing to do with your health. It's about rules, like whether you've worked enough or are earning too much. Figuring out which one it is everything. It totally shapes your appeal strategy. And here are the usual suspects. On the medical side, it's often not enough evidence, or the SSA thinks you can still do some kind of work. On the technical side, you might be earning too much, or you might not have enough work credits. Sometimes it's honestly just a simple mistake on a form. Your first mission is to pinpoint which one of these is yours. So once you know why you were denied, you can start to officially challenge that decision. And the good news is the SSA has a very structured 4-level system for this. It's called the appeals process. The best way to picture this is like a staircase. Everyone starts on the first step, which is called reconsideration. If that doesn't work out, you just climb to the next step, the hearing. Each level gives you a brand new chance to prove your case. So, step 1, reconsideration. This is exactly what it sounds like. A different person at the SSA takes a second look at your file. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. You need to give them new evidence. You can't just resubmit the same old paperwork and expect a different result. You've got to strengthen your case. And listen, you have to move fast. From the date on that denial letter, the clock starts ticking. You have exactly 60 days to file your appeal. This deadline is absolutely non-negotiable. Circle it, put it in your phone, whatever you have to do. Just do not miss it. Now, I'm just going to be straight with you. The odds at that first step, reconsideration, are not great. Only about 15% of cases get approved there. But, and this is so important, don't let that get you down. Because look what happens when you climb to the next step, the hearing. The approval rate skyrockets to over 50%. The key takeaway here is don't give up if you get denied again, because the hearing is where you have your best shot. And that brings us to the main event. The hearing with an administrative law judge, or ALJ. This is a complete game changer. For the very first time, you get to sit in a room and explain your situation in your own words to an actual judge. It's not just about what's on paper anymore. It's about your personal story. Now, if the judge still says no, there are 2 final higher-level steps. There's the appeals counsel, which basically just checks the judge's work for any legal mistakes,
And the final step is filing a lawsuit in federal court. Very few cases ever get this far, but it's good to know the whole path is there if you need it.
All right, knowing the process is one thing, but now let's talk about strategy. How do you actively tilt the odds in your favor and turn that no into a yes?
It really comes down to these 3 pillars. First, you've got to beef up your medical file with new reports and updated records. Second, keep going to your doctor appointments. This shows the SSA this is a serious ongoing problem. And third, you have to avoid those critical mistakes, like missing that 60-day deadline.
And if there's one single piece of evidence that can make all the difference, it's this: a medical source statement. This is not just a simple doctor's note saying you're disabled. No. This is a detailed form where your own doctor explains your specific limitations, like you can only lift 10 pounds or you can only stand for 15 minutes. To a judge, this is pure gold. Okay, lean in for this one, because this is a mistake that can cost people thousands of dollars. You should always appeal the denial. Do not just file a brand new application. When you appeal, you keep your original filing date, which means way more in potential back pay if you win. Starting over is one of the costliest mistakes you can make.
Now, you're probably realizing this is a pretty complex process with a lot of moving parts. So the natural question is, do you have to do this all by yourself? Is it time to get some legal help? You know, having an experienced disability lawyer in your corner can be a huge advantage. They manage all the deadlines and paperwork, they know exactly what kind of medical evidence a judge wants to see, and they'll get you prepped for that big hearing. And maybe the best part? You don't pay them a thing unless you win your case. They only get paid if you get paid. We've covered a ton of ground here, so let's bring it all home and boil it down to a simple, immediate action plan, things you can do the minute you're done with this explainer.
Here you go, your to-do list. Number 1, take a breath. Remember how normal this is. Number 2, find that 60-day deadline and put it on your calendar right now. 3, read your letter and figure out if the problem is medical or technical. 4, call your doctors and start asking for updated records. And number 5, file that appeal. Don't wait until day 59.
Look, at the end of the day, that denial letter feels like a solid brick wall. But it's not. It's just a hurdle. It's a challenge for sure, but it's one you can absolutely prepare for and overcome. You have a plan now. You're in control. So the only question left is, are you ready to take that next step?